Todd, how disappointed were you in the first period, given the way that Minnesota went?
Well, disappointed, 3-0, and it wasn't necessarily the score. It was, I think, how we were playing and how they were playing. I think the other thing is how we responded after the goal, and I mean that there was no real response. And we had a first. I'm not even sure when they scored, but I know we had a good first shift to start the game. I'm not even sure if it was second or third shift that they scored, but I thought there was a couple decent shifts in there to start the game. And then once they scored the goal, it seemed like we were right on our heels.
Kind of talking about the start here, Coach Hartsburg was saying on the bench that he thought you guys were making it too complicated. Do you think there's almost too much?
Who was making
the players were making it too complicated, their play. They just need to play hockey, play more simple. Do you think that's a little bit of what the team's doing? They're trying to make it too difficult because they know the starts haven't been there?
Sometimes when you're pressing, you overcomplicate things. Simplifying the game, pucks in, pucks to the net, hard to the net. I'm sure that's what Craig was talking about. Instead of, little plays around the net, little plays through the neutral zone that result in turnovers. And I think he's absolutely right.
What changed? What got you back into this in the second period? You sort of carried the play from in the final 40.
Well, the goal helped, but I don't know if I had the feeling that we took over the game or carried the play. I think it evened out. The other thing that really helped, and probably more so than the goal, was the altercations. It got some emotion in the players, and we have to get emotionally attached to games, and I think that's somewhat what happened in Minnesota. Is the emotional attachment wasn't there on the ice, and then it's got to be created, and sometimes it's got to be created by me. But the emotional attachment, once we got engaged with them and we stood up to them, I think that I don't want to say helped the game, but it certainly leveled the playing field. Todd,
was it a difficult decision or maybe an easy decision to pull Bobrovsky and throw Steve in there?
The first goal looked like a perfect shot. I haven't had a chance to see him. I'm just based on what I saw in replays. Bobby's been great for us. Whether it was to me, it was kind of twofold. Bobby needs to be better, but also, I needed to change things up to kind of shock the guys, shock the team. So you're always looking for different ways to do that, and sometimes that's a way.
$1 million question here. How do you get the emotional attachment from puck drop? What's the hurdle that has to be cleared till you're there?
I think everybody has their own way of getting into it. When this is a long time ago, but back when I played, I always wanted to get a hit the first shift. I felt it got me into the game, and it gave me a focus. Again, I don't know what's going on inside our players' heads as far as what their goals or objectives are to get themselves into the game. As coaches, we try to prepare them. We can certainly try to motivate them. But that comes down to the players preparing themselves. They're professionals. This is what they have to do.
Todd, in terms of the players, talking about ways to generate offense, they almost to a man said forechecking. Can you explain why, in particular with this team, that's such a crucial element for them scoring goals?
Well, I think it's a simple team. I think it's based on personnel. It's not that we can't make plays, but I think it's about eliminating turnovers, so you aren't making plays through the neutral zone. It's getting in their zone and establishing that forecheck, that rugged style that we want to play here at home. I think it's trying to create an identity that we want, but we're losing too many battles on the puck. Sometimes we're too far away to support the first forward going in on the forecheck. So there's areas that we have to be better at, and it's as coaches we want to practice more, because that's through repetition we can hopefully improve those areas, but we haven't had a lot of time to do that.
You mentioned how the altercations seem to get this team emotionally back in the game there and playing their game. Is it a case of where you want to see that kind of aggression, maybe not so much with fighting penalties and all that, but that kind of aggression from the get-go, just to get instead of for them to rebound from waiting for something bad to happen, they go from there.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an altercation. I mean, again, however they need to do it themselves to get into the game. I mean, it's easy to get emotionally attached to a game if you have a tie to it somehow. Based on a past, whether you're a player that, if we were getting ready to play the New York Rangers, I guarantee there'd be motivation for the two guys we got from New York just based on that. So it's easy to get attached to it. But these guys got to find a way, and we can't rely on Bowler or Dorsett to drop the gloves each night so it gets our team going. We can't do that. And that's what's been happening in a lot of the games. It's based off of what those two guys, or even Nick Foligno tonight, Derek McKenzie, that now where it's getting us into the game. We got to be prepared to start, and we got to be prepared to play that game from the start.
Todd, in a shortened season, do you feel like you're at a critical juncture already at 2-5-1?
To be honest with you, I haven't even thought about that. It's right now it's game to game. It's patching holes and trying to make our team better and prepare us for now. We got Saturday versus a very good Detroit team. So really, there's no time to take a breath. Right now, there's no time for me to worry about those things. I'm just worried about, hopefully getting us rested and try to prepare our players as best we can for Saturday.
You had 3 new players in the lineup. Your quick assessment of them?
I thought our fourth line was very good again. I thought they, forechecked well and obviously, created some emotion. Other than that, I would say we were average to below average, with our players. But Timmy and JM, and this is a tough game for them to come in and have it be their first game. Again, we haven't had a lot of practice time, so we might be a little bit out of sync there. And we faced a rested St. Louis team. That's a very, very good team. So it's going to test everyone.
Talk about the play of Mason. Once he came in,
Mason was great. He was great. Actually, that's one guy I probably should have mentioned. Played. He was very good. In a 3-0 game. He probably made 3 or 4 saves. That he got helped up, I think, by the post too. But he made 3 or 4 saves that could have made the score 4-0. And if it would have been 4-0, game would have been over with right there. But he gave us a chance again, and we were fortunate enough to score a goal on the power play, and again that gave us a little bit of life and some hope. But he was very good.